Welcome back to Code for Cooking. I'm Jeff. Today we're going to go through and we're going to talk about cutting up some celery for you. And we'll show you how to get the work done. All right, let's go. So celery, you can get it in a lot of different ways. Obviously, you can get the 2-packs, things that are already trimmed. This is just one bunch in a bag. Now, a lot of people don't know this. They take the leaves and they'll throw them away. If they're a little bit wilted, yeah, I'd throw them too. If they're frozen, obviously throw them away. Otherwise, you can go right down through it and cook with these, and they taste just fine. So, to get started though, we're going to want to separate each one of these into its own stalk. When we go ahead and we separate these, you'll notice as you get down into the grooves here, you can see some of the dirt. So we're going to want to rinse these before we cut them up. Excuse me. Now, there is another way to do it. If you're doing something where you're going to need all of this, and you're just going to go ahead and start going through it, take the tops off, clean this all up, and then just go ahead and make your cuts. When you're done, put it in a strainer or colander, run the cold water over it, and really give them a good wash through that. Barring that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take 1, 2, 3 stalks, and we're just going to step over to the sink, give them a quick rinse. There we go. There, nice and rinsed and clean. You can see we've got the one. We're just going to take that and get rid of it. This little piece here. Now again, there's the only thing with this section here, you can see it's just aesthetically not pleasing, and that's it. We can still eat that. That's not a problem. The places that we are going to want to look at cutting off are going to be the very ends. You can see that's got a rough cut there. That's all dried out. And then again at the bottom here, you're just going to want to take that piece off and that piece off. And those go to the trash. Now, again, what are we doing with our celery, or how are we cutting it? Are we cooking it? Are we going to eat it raw? Are we going to have... people put the peanut butter on here. They use cheese whiz, some people do different things to stack it up. So you want to cut it up into either strips or bite-sized pieces. For example, this is a nice size to go on. Now you can see it's a finger length. This would be a good size to go on a fresh plate, just to be eaten raw with other vegetables. And of course, you can go straight down and do that with the rest of the celery vein here. Now, cutting these, there's no real trick to anything. If you're going to be dicing and things, what I would do is, if you can see here, this on the rolling edge, it's just going to make it move. And why not just turn it over? And there you go. Hold it down. It's not going to go anywhere. You're going to run your knife down it, and we're going to go ahead and sit and cut these up. So we'll take our knife. Now, it depends on how comfortable you are. You can keep your fingers up here and run your knife nice and slow and use your fingers. Remember, we're using that knuckle there as a guide to cut each piece. And remember, consistency is what you're looking for. So like if you're going to be putting them in stews and things, you do want to have a pretty thick slice. Soups and whatnot, you're going to want to have something that's got some meat to it. If this is just you're not trying to impress anybody, and you just want to kind of get the work done, this is where you're going to want to just practice for yourself, feel good about it when it's all said and done. And this is where you see the chefs start really kind of just ripping through these, because when it's down like this, this is the curved side. So I can hold it back here And now I can just keep my knuckles so it's going to be like a stop. You just run it right down. All right, now that I'm down to that end, I'm hitting that knuckle. Now I go a little bit slower, take the ends, and I don't take my fingers. What's the difference? Well, when you're going to make that run with that knife, and you're going to really run right through those things, they're not all going to be even. They're not all going to be perfect. That's it. Some will be thick, some will be thin. Some will be super thin, some might be super thick, some might be cut at an angle. It doesn't matter. You're still going to eat it. If you're looking to impress somebody and you want to see each one of those is cut exactly the same, take your time, go through. Once you've worked with your knife a little bit and you feel better at it, you can actually start doing that and be very consistent all the way down the rib of that celery. Let's put these over here. I'll remind you not to use your knife to scrape and put these in a bowl. If you had to, you can use the backside. I still don't recommend it because you're going to have your hand next to that blade. I don't want you cutting yourself. There's no reason to go have a trip to the ER for celery. It's just not worth it. Set your knife down, use your hands, pick the cutting board up, slide them in. Do it safely. Okay. If we're looking at having these for a plate, a lot of times what people will want to do is they'll want to cut with the ridge side up. Right? I don't pretend to understand why, but I think it's aesthetically, this is what we look at when we eat. So a lot of people will think that they want to have this side up when you're cutting. It's absolutely not true. Turn it over. This is a stable celery slice. This is a wobbly mess. So turn it up, ridge side up. There. Got a nice cut at an angle. There you go. Now, you got these nice angle cuts. Again, don't have to. It's not a straight cut. When you make the angle cut, people say, oh, he really took his time in making this plate. Yeah, sort of, but they don't need to know that. So you got your nice angle cuts. Yeah, pretty much identical. And this will go ahead and sit on a plate. And then we'll be eaten later in a dip or something like that. There is, if we take, and I'm just going to do this for argument's purposes. If you have these and you wanted to cut them down for whatever reason into longer, thinner strips, this is the time where you can actually have that ridge line up and run your knife nice and slow. You see it rolls at that point. It's got to find its flat spot. Now you can turn it over. Just nice and easy. I don't know of any recipe that calls for celery to be cut like this. But I'm showing you so that if you ever do make those cuts, that's going to wobble. It doesn't matter whether it's ribs up or ribs down. It's going to wobble and it's going to be very difficult. You need to go really slow. I'm going to set these off to the side. I'll be able to use those in something later. Now, this is a mandolin. If you're not familiar with the mandolin, this is a slicer. The blade here, this V-shape, is incredibly sharp. I just rinsed it off, so we've got a little bit of water on here. This dial will open it up and expose that blade. This is your guard. When you're using larger objects, this will press on and you can use it as a slide. With celery, we don't really have that option, but I'm going to show you what the mandolin can do for us. It's got a stand that'll kick out. Now, this blade is sharp enough that if you slide if it's exposed and you just simply did this, you just removed all the skin off those fingers. And you're going to the ER, and it's going to bleed a lot. Don't do that. Keep your fingers away from the blade. When you're looking at figuring out excuse me, open it up, take your stock, and see. All right, so that's like paper thin. So let's cut to the chase. Celery really just needs to have some size to it. So then we can take straight up and down. And there you go. Nice, consistent, even cuts. And of course, what does even consistency also improve? Cooking. When they're all the same size and shape, they all cook at the same time. So if this is the right size for you going into a soup or a stew, then you can just go ahead and keep on going. Watch as you get closer. Keep your fingers away from the blade. There you go. Excuse me. So that's the mandolin. If you're going to be using it, you can finish cutting this out. Again, they're all going to be the exact same size. When you are done with this, close that back up and get that guard up. We don't want to see anybody losing fingers over celery. Celery! We don't want to lose fingers over celery. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. So that's done. We're going to close that up and set it off in the sink. Mandolins are not super expensive. So if you have the opportunity, they're great. They're great for cutting carrots, all sorts of things, onions. But you've got your celery here. I'm going to take the end off this one. Now, for argument's sake, I'm going to be making gumbo, and I like making sure that I have nice, biteable pieces of celery. I like to know that it's in there. I like to know that I remembered part of the Trinity, and that other people that are going to enjoy that gumbo can actually see he's done it right. It's got all the right sizes, all the right stuff in there. Plus, anytime you're working with something like carrots or celery that can maintain that crunch, it adds that little bit of depth in the meal, so it's not all soft on soft on soft. You feel that crunch with the cooked celery and the carrots and things like that. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut some more of this up for my gumbo. Now that's cutting celery. Remember, just keep your fingers away from the knife. Go slow. Develop that pattern. When you start feeling good about it and you want to start knocking it out, go for it. I think it's great. And, you know, it's never wrong to impress anybody when you can go ahead and just run that knife. Ooh, look at that. He's good at what he's doing. Yeah, it only took me 3 months to get there. Practice. Celery is good to eat. It's nutritious. You can have it more often. And it's a great way to practice your knife skills. And you can put celery in a lot of stuff. So anyway, that's our celery talk for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you back here on some more of our tutorials with chopping, dicing, slicing, and mincing. And remember, always do quality control checks. No matter what. All right? Can't argue with quality control. See you next time.